The origin of female genital mutilation, according to the stories told from generation to generation, is a very, very ancient cultural practice. It could even date back to days even before Christ was born. Yeah, and the Sabiny give three versions. One version was that there was a time when men used to go for raids or expeditions to raid livestock, cattle, sheep, goats. And also in the process of raiding livestock, they could also come with captives, women, children, and even young men. So because there was no communication, they used to spend 1 year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years away from their homesteads. The women did not know that their men were even still alive. They thought that now these ones are gone, and therefore, so only to realize that their husbands have come back. But during the time when they were absent, the men in the villages and the authorities, the elders, had already apportioned the women to the men who were left behind, keeping the villages. The men went after they came back. They found that there was a problem. Their women were already with the other men. They also produced children, and it became a very big concern. So there was a meeting which was convened, and the discussions were done exhaustively, and it was discovered that actually the women could not stay for quite a long time without with at least men. And the women were asked to talk to themselves. And the feedback they gave us that, we also desire men after a certain period. So there are some parts of our bodies which sometimes disturb, they give sleepless nights and so on. So it was then saying, now what do we do? Then said, why don't you cut a little, let blood out. Then probably the desire for sex can also be postponed as the men are returning. And then it was then decided that, okay, let's try to cut. But the cutting that time was not as elaborate as the cutting the Sabiny do today. No, it was just simply cutting the clitoris, and then the other organs would be left. But later on, I started perfecting and then cut the labia minora, the inner lips, and then also the labia majora, the outer lips. It was a community decision to try to address a problem of sex control. How do you stay for quite long while your husband is still away? So they thought by cutting something, at least the clitoris, although it was later on perfected to take care of the other parts, it was agreed. So it was not a decision that was, let's say, an imposition. Because our perception these days is that this was imposed. The people of that time were actually trying to address a concern. Then the other one is about a girl who became sick. It was not healing or curing. So they took her to a medicine person, And the medicine person looked at her and said, now, if this girl was a cow, she would be cut to let the bad blood flow out and then the girl can cure. I didn't know why they didn't even choose the ear or the hand or some other part. But they chose the other area, the female genitalia. Now when I asked my grandmother, why did they choose that area specifically? They said because it was hidden. It was comfortably, So when this girl was actually cut, not the cutting that we do today, just cutting the clitoris to let out all the blood. Fortunately, the girl got cured. And then the Sabiny said, I think this is okay. Let it be a practice. And they adopted it there. The other third version, there was a time when our community, our forefathers, were living in an area where water was scarce. And the women, after spending some days, maybe some weeks without bathing, their bodies started emitting very offensive smells. And then so men were also like, they were really becoming, they were not comfortable about the smell that was being emitted by the private parts, the armpits, the female genitalia. So, and when that area is not really frequently washed, you know what it means. Yeah, it has some. So the women, I am told, that sat down and said, no, I think, why don't we try to cut some of these parts in the female genitalia in order to reduce the outflow of the emissions, I don't know what you would call them. They are in liquid form. Yeah. So when they decided to do that, they started emitting less of this stuff. The relationship between them and their men improved. Yeah, so that is our mythology. That is our mythology, yes.
We had a man called Posey who used to tie people around here and beating our sisters. I remember even one of our sisters was forced. That's just to enter unwillingly.
First of all, the time I was circumcised was 1989. But I began to ask for circumcision when I was 15 years old. During those days, you must go and call your relatives around. You go for a place, you get somebody, a relative can give you a hen, a sheep, a goat, or a blade of something, or money. So you use that 1 week when everything, your mom, neighbors are making now booze, komek, to be ready. That process of calling relatives from far, all things are in fermentation. But during that time for frying, yes. Now that time you go now just near people, just near. And that time you put on uniform, you get prepared, put on uniform. The red one, the skirt is red. Then the blouse is just white or any color. But this way is a red color. That is showing danger, and you are making yourself ready. By that time, you are able to get married after circumcision. Now, during the course of circumcision, you must dance first. All of the night, the whole of the day. First of all, we began singing around 8 a.m. The whole day, the whole night. Chamdoine jabatin laye chai 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 no chamdoine jabatin chai chai chamdoine jabatin laye chai 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 no chamdoine jabatin chai chai. Now that's to give you strength that what do we eat chapati with? It is with tea. With tea.
As part of the practice, all the candidates are examined by the senior women to ensure that their bodies are prepared for the knife.
There are some break 4 times at night. The girls, boys goes to the other room with men, then girls goes to the other room with the women. And during that time, they see the clitoris. When the clitoris is small, that the cutter cannot touch, there's some leaves. They put that thing to make it big, to swallow, to get swallow, so that it will be big, so the cutter will cut properly. And that leaf, I don't know in English. If it touches you, you do that in 3 times. But when somebody has a big clitoris, that one can go only for 2 twice. But for me, I was there for 3-4 times because mine was small. So I was taken inside for 4 times.
Besides the examination of their bodies, the candidates are also mentored on how to live as married women.
I was told just to respect the family of the husband who will marry me. Whereby, by that time, we don't know who is he. But I was just told to go and respect a family of the husband who will be in that time. Number 2, I was told that if you have prepared some food and a feaster comes, and your husband, you have kept a little food for your husband, and immediately the feaster comes, you must remove the food that you have already kept for your husband and give to that the feaster. Then you prepare again for your husband.
After all this, on the day of circumcision, the girls are led to the river as they sing folk songs.
That they are taking the cows to the deep to be dipped. Yeah, that was the song preparing us in the morning that you are going to the river now. Now reaching to the river, it is just like baptizing.
Arrival at the river marks the start of a very, very painful step in the process that no Sabine woman can dare to describe.
At the river, the girls are submerged in the ice-cold early morning water. This is done to numb them. The girls are then marched to the ceremonial grounds where the actual cutting takes place.
The girls are taken through a gate-like structure made of spears and are smeared with cud from a freshly slaughtered sheep.
The senior woman then leads the girls straight to the surgeon's theatre where an animal skin is laid for the candidate to lie on.
The candidate then lies on the skin that has been laid for her with her legs wide open facing upwards, forming a V shape as the surgeon anxiously waits with her tools to do the cutting.
The surgeon then cuts off the clitoris, the labia minora, which are the inner lips, and the labia majora, which are the outer lips of the female genitalia.
Soon after the cutting, the circumcised women lie on their sides as they try to quench their pain before they are led to the ritual hut for further mentoring.
While being led to the ritual hut, the girls bend down and cover their heads as a sign of commitment to becoming a woman.
As the girls enter the ritual hut for further mentoring, the rest of the crowd get cheeky and begin to enjoy the local booze that was formerly prepared by the mother and the relatives of the circumcised woman.
But despite the celebrations, how do the girls feel during the exact cutting off of such sensitive body parts?
The thing is too painful. I'm telling you. You feel pain from even the brain, inside the brain. Although they say that, oh, that woman, she managed, but at least you can make the leg like this. It is a painful that I've never seen in my life. Even if you say that baby is painful, this one is more painful. This one is more painful because you feel pain from the center of the brain up to the toes. Better the baby because you can feel pain and you see your baby. But this one,
what I saw which was very bad was there was no respect completely. My sisters came and they just opened themselves there. While we were there, our parents were there, exposing all the private parts, and which was very bad. Secondly, when they were undergoing the healing process, I could see them making noise. They were told to use urine as a cure, and they could tie the legs like that, and it was so painful. I saw them making crying, and I say, what is this?
Now that